Hello and welcome to RadGCrypto. This is a new episode for this beginning of this week, and I will be going through some of the news that I picked up along the way. I am looking into Bitcoin specifically, but also other cryptocurrencies. And let's look at the starter to the news about the top trader that says Bitcoin bottom is in. Plots new Bitcoin all-time high in March, and this will be around $80,000. Let's look at the markets at CoinCodex, one of my favorite sites. In last 24 hours, we can see that Bitcoin is slightly recovering at 46,390, and this is happening on Sunday on February 28th. So the last day of February. Tomorrow is March 1st. ADA Cardano is in pretty good shape in the last 24 hours. It's up 1.23%, and some others are basically either in the red or really slightly up, as you can see. However, when you look at different time frame, like 7 days, you will see that Bitcoin lost about 18%, Ethereum lost 23%. However, Cardano ADA is up 21% in the last 7 days. Cardano has a separate story, which I'm going to cover in another episode, and it's really interesting cryptocurrency. It's something to do with DeFi, and the future potential is huge, in my opinion. Polkadot lost about 10% in last 7 days, as well as Litecoin 24%, Stellar 10%. So let's shift quickly to last 1 month. So now the picture is slightly different, actually much different. When you look at the Bitcoin, for example, it's up 42% the last month, which is still pretty amazing. And this also tells you something about why do people panic sell. They're looking at whatever's happening in the last 24 hours or maybe last 7 days, and then they try to decide what to do. If they're new to the crypto market, they're not used to the volatility of Bitcoin, and they start panicking and selling. And what happens then is basically somebody comes in and swoops all this cheap crypto, like it's happening right now. Somebody is buying this Bitcoin dip. Institutional investors have seemingly bought the dip after the price of Bitcoin corrected from all-time high above 58,000 to about 45,000, and even lower, the 43,000. With 650 million leaving cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase, potentially signaling a large buy. So basically, when this happens, that the cryptocurrency is leaving the exchange, that means that the whales are accumulating and pulling the cryptocurrency back into their cold wallets, as opposed to flooding the exchange with the cryptocurrency. That means that the whales are getting ready to sell, and the price might go down. So at this point, at the end of February, the very last day, this is what's happening. Somebody's buying Bitcoin dip big time. To add to that, Max Keiser also in his tweet mentions that a paradigm shift means bonds crash 50 to 70% and trillions move into Bitcoin, getting us to 220,000 per Bitcoin in 2021. He's talking about this year. Also, in another of his tweets, Max Keiser is mentioning that the hash rate keeps hitting new all-time highs, and this is a leading indicator based on the current number. It should be $77,000 short term. It's a lock. So Max Keiser has been in Bitcoin. He started buying Bitcoin. It was like $10, $11, and he basically weathered all sorts of downturns in the market and crashes, and he pretty much knows what he's talking about. I tend to believe what he says. There's Another thing happening next week, in next couple of weeks, that could be a perfect storm for Bitcoin. Third stimulus check is coming, and they still don't know how soon it will be, but there should be like $1,400 per person. So I'm pretty sure that some of that will find its way into the crypto sphere, cryptocurrency, because people were buying some of the last stimulus. They used some of those checks to buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. And if you look at last time what happened back in the spring, as part of the first round of coronavirus stimulus measures, people received checks for around $1,200 in the States. That money, if used to buy the highly volatile cryptocurrency Bitcoin, could now be worth almost 5,000 after the price of Bitcoin jumped from under 10,000 per Bitcoin in April to almost 30,000 today. So mind you, this is outdated information. It's not 30,000 right now. It's let's see, 46,330. So that would have been even more than 5,000 right now worth. So if you say you spend the whole check of $1,200 buying Bitcoin back in the spring, now you would have about $6,000 worth of the Bitcoin if you didn't sell in the meantime. Of course, this is additional, positive thing for Bitcoin is that U.S. debt is getting bigger and bigger. The more and more money is getting printed and put into circulation, which in turn makes inflation go haywire and higher and higher all the time. And additionally, we can see on this website that there's in February 21,816 venues that are accepting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And I remember back in May it was approximately 19,000. So the number is getting larger, more and more venues and businesses are accepting this. Not to mention the big corporations now buying Bitcoin in hundreds of millions worth every week. So why is this important? Important is for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies because there's only a limited amount of Bitcoin there that's circulating right now. And let's see how many millionaires are there in the world. So the number of millionaires in the US dollar terms globally is 19.6 million. So think about it for a second. So 19.6 million of millionaires. There's like, entities or people who are worth more than $1 million. So imagine if each of those would want to have at least one Bitcoin. Currently, there's only 18 million Bitcoin available. Actually, not even available, but just, mined, existing in the world. And the total number of the Bitcoins ever mined is going to be 21 million. So right now, there's not enough Bitcoin even for each of those 19.6 millionaires. Okay, but let's take a look at how many billionaires are there in the world. 2,095 billionaires, much smaller number, but still. Even if each of those billionaires wanted 100 Bitcoins, it wouldn't be enough. Now, there's some other billionaires and millionaires who are jumping at the opportunity and buying as much as they can at every opportunity, like MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor, and he says this is considering stock or debt financing in order to buy more Bitcoin. So basically, he's just borrowing like you and I would borrow from a credit card and borrowing worthless fiat money and turn it into Bitcoin, which is pretty smart considering that this is all completely legal and it's already benefited him and his company MicroStrategy immensely. MicroStrategy's CEO Michael Saylor said the company is considering issuing more debt in order to buy additional Bitcoin. We've been pretty clear that we'll consider equity and debt financings. It makes sense to buy as much of that asset class as we can. Now, listen to this. This this is talking. This is a head of big corporation talking. Uh, in 2017, there was almost no corporations that were even touch Bitcoin. There was mostly retail buyers, individuals, and since then, situation shifted dramatically. So not just MicroStrategy. We know that Tesla also bought 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin just a couple of weeks ago, and they're planning to accept Bitcoin as a payment. So this by itself, it's huge news. And I have a little snippet here of Michael Saylor explaining his strategy. Just a second.
No company can function by surrendering all their capital and then working harder exponentially for a currency growing weaker. And one more point. The robots are taking over the country. We're automating everything. So for Amazon to succeed, 15,000 retailers are destroyed. For Google to succeed, 15,000 media companies are destroyed. For Apple to succeed, 15,000 device manufacturers are destroyed. So every company is competing against Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook. These companies are dematerializing their products and they're shipping. Microsoft can bundle a product, ship it to 80 million companies over the weekend. Now, how are you going to make money if you pretty much give up all your capital and you start working to create a new product to compete against Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, or Google when robots are taking over the world?
Let's break into a couple of things. So one question, of course, that people have about Bitcoin is, even though it has done very well, the track record speaks for itself. It is also, we know it's extremely volatile. Historically, it's suffered big drawdowns. We don't know when the next one is going to be. In 2017, it peaked around 20,000, got as low as 5,000, I think, March of last year. Is there anything good about holding Bitcoin itself if it's not going up? In other words, during these drawdown cycles, is there anything about the asset that makes it an attractive thing for you to hold?
First of all, it's the hardest money on earth. It's an institutional grade safe haven asset. It's gold without all the imperfections of gold on a digital monetary network that moves at the speed of light that you can program to do 1 million transactions a second. So Bitcoin is digital gold on a big tech monetary network. Why would you want it? You would want it for the same reason that you want to run electric power to your city, or you would want to run running water to your building, because civilization is based on clean energy, clean water, clean communications, clean money, right? It is an extraordinarily important thing. Now,
Okay, so basically, you heard what Michael Saylor says, and I completely agree, is that this Bitcoin is like a digital gold. It's on a digital network, is the monetary energy. That's basically it's better than anything else and holds its value. So that's why he keeps buying it. He's not the only one. So there's huge outflows of cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, from the exchanges right now, especially at the time when you know Bitcoin is down to 46,000 from its highs of 58,000 just a week ago. So whenever this happens, whenever Bitcoin uh, crashes, so to speak, 20, 30%, a lot of people are just panicking and selling into the frenzy, and smart money is buying. So this is what's happening now as well. There's nothing new. And as I showed you, Max Keiser is expecting 77,000 US dollars Bitcoin in the short term. And also, we're looking at this news. The top trader is saying that Bitcoin's a new potential range between 60 and 42,000, and the target after consolidation above the range high is about 80,000. So this is in March. This is next month. I'm recording this on February 28th, Sunday evening, the last day of February. Tomorrow is March 1st. We shall see. Thank you again for tuning in and to my episode and my channel. I greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm and YouTube gods showing my video to other interested parties and people. And hit also the bell button if you want any notifications when I put out a new episode. As always, take care and make sure you have at least some of Bitcoin. Be exposed to the cryptocurrency. It's much bigger risk not to have any Bitcoin than to have some. I'm not financial advisor. I'm not a professional. I'm just a regular guy with interest in cryptocurrency, and I don't give any advice. Always do your own diligence, of course. This is my personal opinion. Uh, I'm just saying, get some Bitcoin. Your future self is going to thank you. Okay, cheers, everybody. Thank you so much, and see you soon.